Right, right. My apologies for my lateness. I can hold up one single item that will explain and somewhat excuse my lateness. Baby, it has been very much a daddy day today. And just got down to bed. So, I thought, better late than never. So, I ran a poll on socials today. I ran it on X and I ran it on Instagram because those are the two I've got easy-ish access to, can still use and know what I'm doing. And Instagram also shares to Facebook anyway, so you get the sort of same effect. And the poll was that I would re-engage, begin this week streaming today, and asking the community, or communities in this case, what I should play. So, on X, I got one vote, and that was for continuing 2 Point Campus. Thank you to Cloud Zombie for engaging with that. On Instagram, I got slightly more responses. Um, in total, I think it was five. Yes, five total. So on Instagram, it was one vote for uh, continuing TCG Shop Simulator, which actually I confess was my vote, but I'm also nothing if not a Democrat, as in I love democracy. So I'm quite happy to go with whatever the majority decides. And the majority have decided that I should play something completely new. So I had a look through my installed games I've already got, and yeah, this looks quite wholesome. So I'm going to play Sugar Shack. And my understanding is that this game is quite wholesome. It looks very wholesome. So we shall see how we get on. What's the one that looks most like? That works. Glasses, lovely. I would 100% wear blue. That's almost like double denim. It's a bit too on the nose. Let's go with. It's all a bit fabulous, isn't it? A bit flouncy. There we go. Purple shirt on a blue. I mean, the music already is very plinky plonky and wholesome. I don't know what this means. I've just signed something. I don't get to see what I signed. That's always a good start. I got thrown out of a plane. This is an odd intro. What in the heck? The devil. Okay. Move your character with WASD, like so, to go talk to the devil. Maple Business Adventure. Okay. So you're going to empty some of the buckets in this big cauldron. You're making maple syrup, I think, if memory serves. Right. Grab a bucket. This is an odd mouse layout. So you do everything with the right mouse button. Okay. This is a peculiar game already. So I've shared the game I've shared the link in the chat rather to the streaming donation link. So this is all in aid of Mind, hence the blue T-shirt, hence the you can get wood from the wood rack. Okay. Okay. Follow the devil. Albion says, "Hola, Mr. Radio." Hello, Albion. I'm playing something oddly, simultaneously twee and very troubling. So yeah, I'm intrigued as to what I'm in for here. It's all about making maple syrup. I may not make it through the whole stream before I change game, because this is already weirding me out a bit, plus also I'm not sure I care for the controls, and controls are a big thing for me. Sounds like a normal day. I mean, you're not wrong. Case the signs. Sugar Shack. Take care of the Sugar Shack. Collects maple sap, boils it into maple syrup, then sells it on the property or elsewhere. Specialising in traditional recipes and other maple delicacies. Maple syrup and run a restaurant. Alright. I'm a little weirded out. Stairs in the back. Albion says this looks very Nintendo. I don't know if that's insulting to Nintendo or not. It's weird, but I kind of dig it in a way. We'll see. Anyway, this was the vote was something different that I haven't yet streamed. I didn't want to kind of cop out and do something that I haven't streamed for a while, like Starfield or what's it called, Insurmountable or RimWorld or anything like that. I just thought, why not just play something completely different? So Sugar Shack is the choice. I forget when I picked this up. It's fairly recent. Where's he gone? Was I supposed to be doing something? That idiot centaur ran me. I lost my hat. Oh, okay. Apparently, I'm gonna guess that I'm supposed to be doing something here. What am I supposed to be doing? Doesn't seem to be giving me much in the way of instructions. I don't really understand what's happening. I need some tools. I haven't got any tools. LOL. RimWorld. I'd live there. It's quite harrowing, I would say. Can I sleep? Is that an option? Can I just make it stop? Is there a bed? Oh yeah, there's a bed there. Oh right. Oh. Hexagonal tiles. Wait a minute. Sorry, I speed read, I should probably say. The world of Fleur de Lis is made up of hexagonal tiles. As you progress, you'll find new tiles to help you expand and personalize the world around you. When you go to sleep, the world outside transforms to reflect your changes. They built in the mechanics from Dark City. Amazing. Right. Place that one there. The feng shui is all out of whack in that room. You're telling me, mate. There's a lot of things out of whack in this. Would you like to go to sleep? According to this, I would. That seems to be the only place I can go to sleep. Everything else is blocked in. So I'm going to guess that I can just go to sleep as... What a waste. One of 4 beds. And I just sleep in it. Alright, well, 6 o'clock Monday. Alright, so these are all the outfits I can choose. It's got a little bit of a... I see what you mean now, Abby. And now, when you sort of think of it from like an Animal Crossing point of view... Oh, I've upset the devil. Looks a bit like Scooter from the Muppets. I tried to make him look a bit like me, so I'm not sure how to take that. It's the closest thing I can make it look like me, except for the fabulous purple shirt. Corriveau. Marie-Joseph de Corriveau. I've upset the devil. So it's interesting. So funnily enough, so the other thing I did, I put another poll out asking for questions to ask on stream so I could answer them. And the best question I got, in fact, it was the only question I got, but it was a good question. It would have been the best anyway. And I'm going to have to really probably unpack this in quite a great deal of depth. Is what's your favourite computer game related memory? And the reason I say that is because there are so many. So, if you're talking, see, a lot of them happen single player, that's the thing, right? So I have a lot of games I have really fond memories of where I just played by myself. And one of them, funnily enough, is I sunk absolutely dozens and dozens of hours into a PS2 game from a Japanese developer called Dark Cloud. And Dark Cloud is funny. It's funny that I'm playing Sugar Shack without realizing it has village building mechanics, because Dark Cloud had exactly that. So what you would do is you would find pieces of the town that you were in. Each town would you'd kind of come in and there'd be the bare bones, bare minimum, no sort of shops, no houses, whatever, what have you. And you'd go in and you'd adventure in the dungeon. The dungeon was randomly generated, so you'd always have certain elements that were always true in there. So you'd have a boss room and stuff like that. But with the exception of the boss room, everything else would be sort of randomized. And so sometimes you'd have a separate second section you could kind of go off into, and sometimes you'd just have the one section. Oh, cool. Got some tools. Nice. Okay, so hold mouse wheel to open the tool wheel, and just scroll through. There we go. So yeah, Dark Cloud would be one of the ones on my list. Trying to think what else would be on there. So I will say my sister and I have had a lot of fun playing Overcooked 2-player. That's a fun game, although it is very much a test of your patience and your collaborative abilities. Right, where is the water well? So maybe I should break it down into consoles, because I've owned quite a few over the years. I've had kind of, well, I think I've had Super Nintendo, Master System, and that had some absolute belters on it. Not least of all, Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion was an absolute banger of a game. I used to have a Super Nintendo. Probably the finest gaming experience I had on the Super Nintendo. We had a lot of fun playing Aladdin. Aladdin was a good one. We also had, what else do we have? I used to play WWF Royal Rumble an absolute ton. That was a fun one. I did get oh no, dropped off the edge of the world. I did get WWF Raw as well, which was the sequel, but never got fully around to playing that one. Really didn't get much time with it before I moved on my Super Nintendo to get an N64 and trade with a guy from school. He wanted, I wanted the newest console, and he wanted a console with lots of games. So we sort of compromised on that. And I got, what did I get? Mario Kart, International Superstar Soccer, and something else that escapes me now. And yeah, so that was Super Nintendo. Nintendo 64, obviously, tons of fun playing GoldenEye. Perfect Dark was excellent. But actually, my favourite game on N64 was this weird. I have a thing about weird Japanese ones. You're right there, Devil. He got stuck, I think. The Prince of Darkness. Don't get him near the scenery. Oh, no. Right, gotta find a stone. Oh, hang on. I accidentally ruined the ceiling. The ceiling? Floor. So, yeah, N64, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Hybrid Heaven was the other game that I absolutely adored. Played a ton of. WWF No Mercy. There's been multiple games where I've had cracking wrestling game experiences, but WWF No Mercy was one of the best by far. And then what did I have after that? I'm trying to think. Moved on from there to a PlayStation 2, I think. After that, and then I ended up getting a GameCube as well. But I think I had the PS2 first. I did at one point borrow a PlayStation 1 from my friend. Okay. Chuck it across. Still getting used to this difference in controller mechanisms. It expects me to do everything on the right mouse button, which is I find a bit strange. There we go. So this has very much got a Stardew vibe. Now that it's starting to kind of have mechanics of doing stuff. Plant this as well, might as well. Right, gonna go back to speak to Corivore. Don't know. Cool. Fresh veg. Teach you how to cook. Lovely. while you're walking slowly, see if I can break anything. Nope. Devil seems very uncomfortable walking around. Awful flouncy as well. And Bjorn says VIC-20, Amiga 500. Oh, Amiga 500, I'll come to that. So, Master System, Mega Drive 2, PS1, Dreamcast, N64, PS2, PS2 Slim, Xbox, GameCube, DS, PSP, PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and then I got old. So, yeah, so let me think. So, of those, we had a VIC-20. The only thing I remember playing on that vaguely is my dad used to have this Space Invaders knockoff called, I think, Alien Intruders or something. Was that the Billy Dee Williams film? Anyway, we did have an Amiga 500. My finest gaming memory on that is the one that I have always wanted to reproduce to this day, which is Infocom games, so the text-based adventure games. Used to absolutely love those, and we used to play one. We played Enchanter. So with that one, we used to write down all the spells and work out all the things. We'd sit and actually, as a family, kind of solve the puzzles together. That was quite cool. And then I played one called Deadline, which I never finished, which I thought was great. And I've played since then. I've played Lurking Horror and Zork and all sorts. I even wanted to make my own. So yeah, we did have an Amiga 500. That was about the only game I had on there that I really remember with any clarity. We had Captain Planet, but that was kind of halfway naff. What else we got? So Mega Drive I never owned. Master System, like I say, I had Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion was my favourite. And then so I got Itchy Eye. Mega Drive wise, probably the game I enjoyed the most of the ones I've played is probably Gunstar Heroes. But I'll tell you what it isn't is Echo the Dolphin, because that game is crap. Right, follow the recipe instructions on the recipe from top to bottom. Okay, fine. So I need, what is it? One of them. Is that it? Yeah, okay, so that goes in the pan. Okay, fine. And then I want one of them. And one of... Oh, then I need to mix it. Is there a mixing thing? I don't really understand what I'm looking at. I think I've just put aubergine in it. Oh, you're joking. You bollocks. I have an annual playthrough of one... Oh, my first game in memory was on my dad's work laptop in black and white. In quotes, rather. It was a black and orange display. Space Quest 1 in 1986. Still my favourite game series of all time. What was that? I think that's what I need. There we go. Does it tell you when the cooking time's done? Or not really? Let's just let that happen. I have an annual playthrough of 1 to 3 and occasional go out the rest. Fair enough. So let's see, where else can I go from here? So I had, let's say, N64. I had Hybrid Heaven, No Mercy, Perfect Dark, all sorts. And then, I mean, PC games. Crikey, there's so many. I had a PS2. First game I had with it was Agent Under Fire, which was the 007, the first 007 game to come out on PS2, and then I ended up playing Nightfire eventually, and I did briefly play Everything or Nothing on the GameCube, but never actually got around to finishing it. So okay, what else? So then I had. Actually, let's back up to the PS1. So the PS1 I borrowed from a friend, and the game I enjoyed the most on it was the original Silent Hill. And I remember I've told this story on the E14 Gamecast way back when, but I'll tell you now, that is by far the most terrifying game I'd ever played in my life. It was so good. Ah, there you go. Oh, you're joking. You have to press a button to set it off. Christ alive. Late 90s, early 2000s, DOS gaming is the pinnacle of gaming, in my opinion. Oh, there's so many good ones. I mean, I used to play a ton of Theme Park. Another one, so talking about game development projects, Theme Park is one I'd love to just work out how to remake, like the equivalent of a shot-for-shot remake, just like mechanic for mechanic, and just remake it and understand how to make games by learning, just deconstructing how an old game works and just rebuilding it from scratch. But it's tricky because it's in assembly, from what I gather from ChatGPT and such. It's not a lot of there's not always a lot of information about source code. Place the maple fudge on a plate, and then give it to. There we go. Fix the table in the dining area. I think that's probably wise, you know. So what else did I play? Let's stick with the consoles. I need to stop getting sidetracked and getting crazy trained on myself. So it's tricky when you're trying to play a game as well. So where did we get up to? So we got up to PS1, Silent Hill 1, PS2, Silent Hill 2, so good. Silent Hill 3, also very good. And then Silent Hill 4, I never got around to playing fully. I played some, but then struggled to kind of get it all done. I need some wood. There we go. And then, never had an original Xbox. I have played some original Xbox games on the things like the 360 and the Xbox One and the Series X, kind of backwards compatibility stuff. So I have kind of some experience of playing the games, just not on the actual original system. Oh, look at that, you can clean this up. Lovely. Make these bloody fly noises a bit less significant. They're really, really, really annoying. There we go. Oh, listen to that. You can hear it come off every time you get rid of one. One more. Lovely. I can hear myself think again. I don't know if they're coming through on the stream, but the fly noises have been really bloody loud in my ears. Right, so, where was I? GameCube. So I had a GameCube. Probably the game I enjoyed the most on that. The game I played the most on that was probably FIFA 05, but in terms of games I enjoyed the most, I thought Eternal Darkness was incredible. No great surprise there. Really well done. Mario Sunshine was quite a lot of time. Wind Waker, obviously, you can't talk about good GameCube games and not at least mention it in passing. Just one that, you know, occupies a fond place in my heart. Although most of my recollection of it is very spotty because I used to play at university and I would frequently and stupidly pull all-nighters to play and then have no recollection of the thing the following day. So I don't remember completing the Forest Temple, but apparently I did. My favourite I've ever owned is the best memories of the Amiga. I beat a microcomputer, not a console, but I had so much fun with that baby. I run UAE on my PC just to relive some nostalgia. I think it's the system and era of gaming that holds up best today. What holds up best for me today? I would probably say when I was in sort of, must have been the mid 2000s, I remember playing Resident Evil 4, and I remember, okay, fine, so I didn't have any cash anyway. Right, so that's how that works then. So if you run out of energy, the devil brings you back, but he takes some of your money off you. I remember thinking, playing Resident Evil 4, which spoilers I'm coming to for GameCube as well, is I remember thinking this is it. You don't need to go any further with games. You could just stop here and just expand on this, and it would be just fine. Now, obviously, we've gone way beyond that since then. We've had this kind of indie resurgence as well, which has been lovely. Hence why I suspect I'm playing this peculiar game, because I don't believe this has come from a AAA studio. I just don't. Resi 4 is a masterpiece. I couldn't agree with you more, mate. It's so well done. It's just beautifully executed. And that's another one that I've just enjoyed such fond memories of over the years. I really wish I had like a stockpile. Anyway. Hello, Mr. Devil. Oh yeah, I should probably wash these, shouldn't I? Wash them? Water them. So then, that's GameCube. So then that's PS4 and GameCube covered. Nintendo DS. I did have a Nintendo DS, and actually, you know what? Let's talk about other fond gaming memories. So, in 2004 to 2005, I lived abroad for a year, and that was when, if you recall, the original. And sorry, I mean I'm about to make us both feel very old. The original Nintendo DS was released in 2005, and the reason I know that is because I had it delivered to France. Because Play.com, again, not to make us feel too old, but Play.com were willing to ship to France for electronics at the time. Yeah. So, hang on, let me just allow that. That's fine. So yeah, Play.com used to deliver to Europe, to the EU. So I had my Nintendo DS, Super Mario 64 DS, and what else did I have? WarioWare Touched. Used to have that, and I had them, but all delivered to France. And then I was friends with so I was a teaching assistant for a year, and we were allowed to sort of live on campus, as it were. It's like a boarding school during the week. So then we were allowed to live there during the week and weekend. And I remember, I get so derailed so easily. I just chopped my own door down. I remember so we were put in touch with the sort of, this is the person who was doing the job before you. And so I emailed her and said, what would be your advice in terms of accommodation and things like that, where to look and where's good and stuff. She said, well, they'll offer you accommodation on site for the first, when you first get there. Take them up on it for a few months, and then you'll probably want to move closer to town. It's all right, fine. So, and she also said it was like a good, cheap way to get started till you start earning a bit. Because that was part of the upside for me was by working in the school, I also earned money as well as sorting out my uni stuff. And also I felt like I'd had quite a lot of years of study in a row. I wanted to do something a bit different, so I did. So I got there, and they sort of talked me through it, and they told me sort of how the room worked and stuff. And it was a double ensuite bedroom, and it was €100 a month. And I remember thinking, okay, this is a good. I'm off to a good start here. I felt, and then I then learned on sort of a little bit of exploration. I was 20 minutes walk from the town centre. I was like, why would I need to walk closer to town? This is perfect. So I stayed there for the whole year. Anyway, it meant, as I say, on the hang on, why is he? He's just knocked down one of his own. He's just destroyed his own kitchenware. And then there we go. I'll have to get rid of the grubby ones like this. I acquired mine when I was working in a popular video rental store. Well, that's one way of doing it as well. So yeah, we used to live on the site with the other assistants, and also there were a couple of teachers who lived too far away um, to commute. So one of them was, he sort of said, "Oh, you know, what have you got?" And I said, I explained that it was a new games console and stuff, and he was not in the least bit interested. But he said, "Oh, okay, well, I'm going to go wash my car because it's a beautiful day. Like, you should, you know." He basically said, like, make sure not to sort of spend all day sitting indoors. So DS was portable. I went outside and I sat in the beautiful sort of April sun in sort of southeast France, and he washed his car and I played Super Mario 64 DS once it had charged up. Beautiful days. Simple days. I had a very different kind of idea of what my life was going to be back then. I was thinking about it the other day. And my degree was in French. I was very much expecting to kind of be able to go into translation and stuff. And then, of course, what did Google release? But a translation service on their search engine, probably in or around that time, that was pretty accurate, sort of out of the box. So imagine you're a restaurant. I used to pick up a lot when I first left university. I used to pick up a lot of part-time freelance translation and what's the word, proofreading work, and that dried up pretty much instantaneously once Google Translate kind of came along, because a lot of it was like Belgian restaurant menus. It didn't have a lot of money to spend on their translation, but they wanted to make sure their menu was kind of comprehensible, so they would chuck it over to this company, whose name escapes me now, for sort of, you know, they'd pay a total of €10 to sort of do the translation and the proofreading, or maybe even less than that, and you just split the money between the translator and the proofreader. The translator would get more because theirs was a harder piece of work. But anyway, that work all dried up, and so that was one of those ways in which my life kind of had to take a turn. There's been many of those. So let me just put my scooter to bed. For some reason, he has to flip his duvet out like a matador's cape. Right, I need to work out where I'm going to get this bloody wood from, because these keep saying that my axe is too weak. But there must be something I can hit. I must be able to hit something with my axe. Why bother having it? Okay, I can do that. That is not what I need. I'm not sure I care for this game. It's a little bit, I see what it's trying to do. It's trying to kind of evoke that Stardew Valley, kind of Harvest Moon, but also kind of have like a bit of an Animal Crossing vibe. And it is kind of cutesy and, you know, it's not unpleasant. Music's lovely. But I don't know, it's not, so far it's not kind of grabbing me entirely, but we shall see. I shall persevere nonetheless. Worst case scenario, I play it once, never play it again, which is fine. I'll live with that. I seem to be one piece of wood short. Can I split a log that way? No, just get firewood. Just walk that, make it softer so it'll be easier to hit. That not physics? Alright. Anyway, anywho, I ended up owning quite a lot of DS games, and probably my favourite series on that console was Professor Layton, because I like a puzzle. And Professor Layton had some really, especially the early games, had some really clever ones. And they used to make really good use of the Nintendo hardware, because it was a first party essentially. It was exclusive at least. There was that. Excuse me. As I mentioned, been a long evening and a series of long days, but we're all going through it in the household at the moment. Wife's on shifts at work. Baby's very much keen on daddy doing bedtime today. Let's see if I can plant a tree over here. Nope. Just lob it across the room. Can't help but notice there is no place for me to get this extra log. Anyway, didn't have a PSP. What else did we have, Albion? I'm trying to go back through your list. So then I didn't have a PSP or a PS Vita. I did have a PSP Go, very briefly. Didn't really play anything on that I liked particularly. Didn't really get a lot of use out of it, and the games were stupidly expensive because Sony have never quite, well, certainly not at the time, maybe now. They're all kind of as bad as each other in terms of digital pricing, but back then Sony was kind of stand out in their field in terms of gouging. And then, what else? So, what was the next round? Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii. Wii games, probably Zelda again. That's the thing, you know. I didn't. Oh, I've just opened it without a table. Balls. Right. What am I missing here? Am I missing something really? Albert, if you spot what I'm missing here in terms of why can't I get to the epoxy? Why can't I find epoxy log? One of my favourite gaming memories was Christmas '93. My brother and I woke up at 4 a.m. and the big man had got us a Mega Drive 2. Dad said after we played Mortal Kombat and Aladdin until dinner one time, went back to bed. Yeah, that was quite a common one in our household as well. Was you know, Mum and Dad would sort of come down, do presents, and then they'd take it in shifts to bugger off for a bit. I'm sure we'll end up doing the same with little one when she's a bit more with it when it comes to Christmas. She's still a little bit oblivious, but she understands Christmas as a concept. She sees if she sees any kind of paraphernalia around Christmas or mispiss as she calls it, then she sort of can catch on. But other than that, not really so much. Am I missing something really obvious in terms of is there supposed to be another tile or something? No. Okay, fine. Just checking. It's like, am I supposed to put a tile down where it's just like large amounts of wood? It's like the perfect log you need. It's full of bloody filthy. I don't know why he thinks it's okay to not do any broom work. So, what else? So, Xbox 360. So, my favourite there, I really liked the first Crackdown. First Crackdown, I spent so long playing that game. But in terms of favourite memories, I mean, actually, my sister will turn up in a lot of these because I've played a lot of games with her over the years. And mainly it's playing Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 with her. It's like a really good, it's just a really wonderful time. And yeah, just, anything kind of multiplayer. That was kind of when I was first starting to kind of explore multiplayer. Where's my firewood? Friday night at our house was Red Dwarf, Carrier, then Micro Machines, World Class Leaderboard, Columns, and Mega Bomberman. We used to have Columns on my old PC. Beyond Columns, that was a good one. Just in somebody's playing Pacific Drive, that was another one I gave some thought to playing tonight, because it looks like I might play that on Thursday, because it's actual Halloween. So my plan for this week is probably to do 2 streams. Today, obviously, this is the one I'm in right now, and then I'll probably do one on Thursday. And let's say, as it's real Halloween, I want to play something with a bit more of an unsettling tone. So I've downloaded Pacific Drive's been on my to play pile for a while because it looks like a really fun game. And I watched Joe from the Glass Cannon Network stream it, and it looked like my sort of things. It's got a bit of a roguelite mechanic, which is good, which appeals to me. And then, can I not move stuff? Is that possible to move stuff? Because I think that might be... Oh no, that behind there, I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything. What is going on here? Put this in the kitchen. There we go. Pop that there. Work out where this bloody wood is. So then, PS3. What's my favourite game on PS3? I really loved Infamous. That is a series I absolutely cannot get enough of. I even enjoyed Second Son and First Light, I think it's called, the one with the neon. That was a really cool DLC. Good amount of heft to it as a as a value proposition, I would say. Where in Ball's name? I don't need fresh seeds. What I really need is a bit of wood. Have you got a log? Balls if I know what to do, you know. Is this going to be what scuppers me? This feels cheap and unsatisfying in that respect. Anywho, I'm not just here to play games, am I? I'm here to... Oh yeah, in fact, actually, I should probably plug the charity donation link again in a minute, because it's been 48 minutes. Blimey. Time flies when you're puzzling out the basics of a game. I mean, I will still be inside the Steam refund window. So I'm not quite sure on this one. It's quite sort of, it's a pleasant game, but I've got so many games along these lines that are, I would say, inarguably better than this. Apologies to the developer, I'm sure. You've done a sterling job, because it's solid, it works. I mean, with the exception of the Devil's Movement, which is a little bit erratic, everything else is working really well. So I mean, I'm never gonna decry the efforts of a developer, because I know from some limited experience how hard it is, particularly to do a good job. And you have done a good job if you end up watching this and go like, what's his problem? None. No, don't have one. You have to go a bit Alan Partridge on streams, don't you? Alright, what was it? You had to go in there, so I'm going to make some more fudge. So then, Wii U was the next one on Nintendo's kind of roadmap, and I enjoyed it. I bought one cheap. I think it was when it was already kind of fairly clear that it wasn't going well. The old Wii U. I mean, worth saying, I think, if my recollection is correct, and it's not often, but it's been known, Oh, I've just thought of another GameCube game. I'll come back to that in a sec. Um, Nintendo have generally got a pretty good pedigree when it comes to keeping games profitable, so they don't tend to make a big loss very often. I think they've done it sort of once or twice in their kind of modern gaming history. Anyway, yeah, GameCube game. Resident Evil 1 Remake. Absolute belter. So, thought of another 360 game. In fact, I don't know if I actually got round to 360 yet, or whether I was just faffing around, kind of back and forth on different consoles. In terms of most hours played on games on 360, it is Bethesda, because once again, Bethesda is my happy place when it comes to RPGs. So I played Fallout 3, played New Vegas on there. That's an Obsidian game, but Bethesda published it. And I've also played a ton of Skyrim on the 360, and that was a really enjoyable game. Oh, hang on, is that burning? No one is even close to Bethesda. I don't see how you can come to any other conclusion. I mean, I really can't. Like, it is. They are far and away, in my estimation, some of the finest purveyors of role-playing games in the world. And I've even found things to like about Starfield, even though people are slating it. For me, it's just the only thing that I don't care for about it is it's just the world feels a bit sort of clean, and a bit sort of spare in terms of there's not a lot kind of about to interact with on any given planet. Hang on, did I have an option to talk to him? Anyway. So then, what else? I'm trying to think. What other consoles are there? I feel like I've missed. I keep getting this feeling like I've missed a whole chunk of it. On Switch, Breath of the Wild. I know Tears of the Kingdom is supposed to be even more incredible. I just haven't put enough hours into it to be able to really evaluate it. But Breath of the Wild, lots of hours. Great game. Played a lot of Skyrim on that too. Starfield is perfectly fine. It fell on its own sword with obtuse promises. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the fate that befell No Man's Sky, but they managed to rescue it by just pumping content into it. So maybe Starfield can do the same thing, you know. Obviously worth saying that they've got a pretty hefty roadmap in place for that as well. And obviously they just released their first piece of major sort of DLC, although I don't think it went down too well. But sometimes, it has to be said, sometimes people don't necessarily know what they want until they get the thing, and that's a lot of trial and error for a company to put into their products. Shut my mailbox down. So then, what other ones are there? So in terms of Xbox One and Series X, probably some of my favourites, Sea of Thieves. That's a great game. That's another one that I would give some thought to doing on stream. Oop, just chuck that across into the mix. Can I get the... Aha, collect one maple syrup. Oh, I'll put this up. I need to work out how to use the basket. I've really lashed this up. Where is this sodding... This sodding bit of wood. It's going to be the death of me. So this is a bit like Minecraft too. It's got that whole put ingredients in the thing and walk away and come back and it will have done some stuff till it runs out of firewood. It's very reminiscent of Minecraft. So I'm trying to think what else there is. I feel like, Albion, I think that's a good number, don't you? It's a good number of game memories. And I mean, like I say, a lot of it's multiplayer. Playing online with friends, Gears of War, Horde mode, Left 4 Dead, Overcooked 2. Right. Okay, right, so that's all done. Where is this fucking bare wood? That's too big. I can't make planks, so that's no good. I can't get this because it's too big. What does this do? What is this? Your tool is not strong enough. Oh my. I guess there's a fishing minigame in this later. Judging by the fact there's fish kind of... Oh no, it looks like there could be fish off the side of the thing. That was actually just water effects that I misinterpreted, because I'm a great steaming pillock. Oh, I've got restless legs. I can feel sat kind of as comfortably as I can in the chair I've got and the setup I've got. I am freakishly tall, and so it is very difficult to kind of sit in a comfortable position, but even then, my legs feel like they're going to just snap off my body. Just one of those weeks. Doesn't help either. So, wife on shifts, baby needing, you know, the usual care, which is fair enough. She can't be expected to look after herself. She's only not even 2. And yeah, both of us kind of a bit worn out from life, and then having to do the heavy lifting. And it's been, I think, 6 weeks and counting now that I've been sort of needing to get a bit more involved in day-to-day household stuff, which I don't mind doing, but it can be still tiring. I tell you what, it's probably about time to start sharing the stream link. Because I've got a couple of new viewers. Welcome. I am Rob. I am currently streaming Sugar Shack, and this is all in aid of the mental health charity Mind. And it's a good cause. I wanted to do some bits to raise some money for it, and here we are. You know, playing some Sugar Shack and chucking buckets around the world map. So I ran my D&D Halloween side quest on Sunday at the club. Oh, how'd it go? I forgot to ask. So we were talking about it with quite a fair bit of enthusiasm on a day last week, Monday maybe. And I completely forgot to check in and see how it went. I played my last game of D&D last week. That's why I couldn't stream Thursday, because I was already bumping up my 3rd level rogue, my 3rd level arcane trickster. How did the... Yeah, so I need to know how the Halloween side quest went then, because that's important. Whoop. Do not want to fall in. During a village festival celebrating the harvest, the group joined in and played many games, the costume parade and pumpkin carving. That's lovely. This sounds very wholesome already, I like it. Then pumpkins attack the village. Less wholesome. We went picking the pumpkins on Saturday, watching the baby be all cute. So the classic, you get the classic wheelbarrow, baby in a wheelbarrow shot. Bud and the moonlight walk. This is a peculiar beast, the old stream for mine so far. Whilst investigating Portal, typical for my world, opening the Scooby Gang appeared. Ah yes, so of course you were talking about the other day, painting up your Scooby Gang to use in the game. So I take it that went down well then. Where in the bloody hell is this wood? I'm really getting a bit fed up at this. Sort of tempted to knock it on the head and play Balatro for the rest of the evening, but that's pretty standard for me. On any given day, I'm thinking about playing Balatro. Unless I play Balatro, I might clean my brain shuts off. But I do so enjoy it. Right, I want to work out what this little suitcase thing is here. I can just drop syrup into. What does that do? Oh, it's a sale thing. You sell them. That's my first actual small amount of cash. Right, there's no tiles, are there? There's nothing new on that respect. Well, as you'd expect, Scooby had his back broken by one of the group. Another tried to do things to Shaggy, and they successfully killed the Pumpkin King. I think we have very different definitions of as you'd expect as a concept, because that would have been Scooby-Doo having his back broken by an adventuring party is probably the last thing I would have expected to happen because of the universal and deserved love that Scooby and the gang have from popular culture. And if they don't, they bloody should. Water my bed. Make it grow. It was graphic. Yeah, I'll bet. I've just thought of I don't know why it just popped in my head, but Borderlands is a fun game. I used to enjoy a lot of multiplayer on. I have no idea why that popped in my head, but it did. What is that? What even is that? It just levitates in the air. I'm really struggling here. He tried to jump on and mount Scooby for battle. He rolled a 1. Right, okay. So he broke Scooby's back by overzealously jumping on him. I've got it. I see. That makes more... I say makes more sense. I understand. Right, let's get a bit more cash. A few more pennies in the old kitty. 15 to be precise. Maybe I can get some log from this tree over here. He snapped his neck, so he tried to finish him off and put him out of his misery and rolled a 2. And snapped his neck, but unsuccessfully. It was so sad. I'm not surprised. What are you doing to Scooby-Doo, Albion? This is sacrilegious. Right, I found an extra bit of wood. Hallelujah. Right. A dining table. Right. Let's make some fudge. Jesus Christ. It was while Shaggy was crying over his best friend's body that one player tried advances on him. Are you kidding? Like, at their most vulnerable. Jeez. I need new players. I mean, I would consider it. You've got somebody who cripples Scooby-Doo and then tries to violate Shaggy while he's mourning. Snapped his neck but unsuccessfully. I'm still processing that. Like, Daphne was right there, man. Oh my. Chimney. Are these burned? Is that what it is? They melted. Oh, right, okay. Beverages, apple juice, and then desserts, maple fudge. Perfect. I'll pick that up. Go see Corvo about opening the shack. Caskell 2000, first time chat. Welcome, sir. Could be worse. The last D&D campaign I joined, we entered as a vampire's lair, and as a minor detail, there was a Lego barred door sitting on the table. The DM wasn't happy when we spent 2 hours building said set. He also wasn't happy when I bought the set for real a year later. The things we do to our GMs. Probably my favourite RPG memories. Let me think. There's a couple actually, because I've started. So in the pandemic era, we started doing some Friday night Zoom streams, and we'd do so. You know, we had a Discord server, and we would just jump on that and install the lighthouse. It will bring in new visitors. Oh, look at that. Okay. So. Okay. So yeah, we started playing the games, and one of my fondest memories was we had a game of what was it? City of Mist. So I ran a session of City of Mist, and there was this point in the story where they had to go and speak to somebody at a place called Rusty's Bar. Now, for some reason, unbeknownst to me to this day, I think I was just kind of talking. Obviously, I'm much like now. I kind of you have to talk off the cuff and sort of think on your feet. And I said something to the effect. I just offhand instead. I sort of accidentally referred to it as a bar and grill. They said, "Well, hang on, is it a bar or a bar and grill?" And I decided the most sensible way to approach that was to make it so that it had just become a grill in the game world that day. So peppered in amongst the whole kind of dialogue of, oh yeah, it's not going to come onto the new tile's not going to come onto the morning, is it? I don't know why I was looking for the lighthouse. Yeah, it's not there. In amongst this kind of this sort of tense setting of like trying to work out, who's going to sort of do what. There was this heated argument going on about like dessert menus and catering and health insurance and stuff like that, and it was just the funniest. It's the funniest, most stupid crap. Then there was the time. So that was the finale of that session. That sort of mini arc was. I don't know if it was a shambles because I'd had a bottle of wine, or whether I'd had a bottle of wine because it was a shambles. But it didn't go well. In the end, the game was halted when somebody attempted to summon from a different game the Aliens dropship from the Aliens RPG they'd played earlier on in the pandemic era. So they actually kind of blended games. And you know, if I hadn't been happy for him to do this, I certainly wouldn't have let him roll dice. And he rolled a double six, which in City of Mist is a crit success. So I had to bring in the dropship through the walls of a kind of mansion, because the other thing I did as well, while thinking on my feet and not being very good at it, was I forgot how a villa is laid out, because it was the description in the thing was that it was the final showdown was at a villa. I just started describing a mansion, and then just carried on doing that, and just went with it, and that was it. And they finished the kind of adventure in a mansion. Then we established that actually at no point had they said, although I still maintain they had, at no point did they allege they had said how they got there, because the joke was that they turned up like a motorcycle display team. But I didn't sort of hold them to that. But then the tricky part became they didn't actually have a means of transport back, so we just kind of made it a slightly damn squib of a ending. But like I said, I'd had a bottle of wine the week before even, and that was still kind of felt like it was having an effect. That give you an idea of how they decided to try and subdue Cerberus by feeding it smints until it shit itself. Pardon my French. So yeah, that was one. And then I started playing Call of Cthulhu with a few friends a couple of years ago, including my sister. And my sister is a really entertaining person to play RPGs with, because she just gets really into the spirit of it and has so much fun. It's brilliant. Anyway, she played this magician who, when pressed about how she was going to kind of blag her way into this cult, this kind of religious group that was a bit like a cult in the kind of setting of the 1920s, she decided to disappear and reappear in disguise as Terry Terrison from the tax office. Not the IRS, I hasten to add. This was 1920s New York, but no, from the tax office. And it went about as well as you'd expect. Although actually they did, even though religion notoriously tax exempt, even with that said, they were still happy for us all to go in and talk. So I suspect there was a recruitment drive going on in the background. I love the ingenuity of players. Give them ham, bread, and butter, and they'll try and make a lasagna. Okay. So actually, there's another one. So speaking of food, we played one of our favourite games, and I think this was because of the nature of the group. We weren't tabletop RPG players primarily. We were board gamers, so we were trying to replace board games. So we used to choose a lot of RPGs that would be kind of, you could rock up and roll a character and fire and forget, and it wouldn't matter if they died and what have you. And we played this World War II game called Operation White Box. It was a really fun game, and we had some incredible sessions with it, including the infamous line, "Are they talking to me or the truck?" And we just interpreted that as, "Do you mean, are they addressing the truck?" We knew what he meant, but it was more fun to pretend we didn't. Anywho, yeah, when we were trying to sort of go into a village and sort of set up the resistance against the Germans, we framed a man for murder, and then two of us decided we were going to go and sort of do recon at a local restaurant, and in the world of the game, it became a potato buffet. And then we realised neither of us spoke German. Our characters thus just sat there awkwardly while eating potato buffet that was plot irrelevant because we couldn't advance the story at all, and that was actually probably the most entertaining thing about that particular set piece, was just the fact that it was the utter futility of it all. Is she going to turn up? Is she in here? Is that... Well, I can't see her. Is she inside the... Hold on. Where is she? Did she go into my house? Is that sort of what's going on? Oh, look at that. I've got... Blimey. Oh, Mum and Dad, I need to run ahead and set up the old maple syrup thing. I've crafted this whole world called Noom. It's a nexus of all dimensions and time. We have general fantasy stuff and robots, anthropomorphic animals, cartoons, and anything you can think of. I'm trying to work out how to make my players have their characters play D&D, and it's hurting my brain. I'm not surprised, mate. You are making a run for your own back there, I would say. Hey, I'm here to just stand outside your restaurant awkwardly. Right. So, beans and maple syrup. Bleh. Not sure I care for that. Maple syrup. The heck was that? Oh, you get out. Look at that. I've been in 2 minutes, we've already ruined the place. I don't know what these are. Oh, they've gone off. The fudge goes off. Right, noted. God, dear, how long, dear. I like to play kind games too. Occasionally I'll message one of them and ask them to roll a d20. Nice. That's what you want. You want a GM who can kind of flex on. Let's get the next batch of ingredients out. Right, who's this for? Plates. Oh yeah. Probably should serve it on plates. La-di-da. Where did I put the bloody beans? Are you kidding? There's no... Is there not a way for me to... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I've lost the bloody... Oh, it's overcooked style. Okay, I don't care for this mechanic at all then. Because now I've got half the time to fucking cook it. And I've got stereotypical Greeks next door. Right, I need to buff the fire up. Just kick them all out. Oh, I didn't start the fucking timer off. This is not the relaxing chill out game I envisaged. Right, so then I need an apple and a juicer. I've got the juicer here, looks like. Just chuck it across the room, why not? Right. There we go. Right, so they got their... That's good. They got their, what's the name? Juice. But actually, this is in the right order. I'm serving them kind of how a restaurant would. Occasionally I'll message them and ask them to roll the d20. Yeah, I mean, that's another one that you can do if you're sort of benevolent. Okay, so get fewer stars from that one. Don't really care. Okay, maybe I do, because it's just resulted in them. One of my group is a sentient AI that has escaped the bonds of a system. What, not even a real... What, one of the players? Not even the characters in the game? Haha, just kidding. And upon crashing on Doom, came across a gnome, and replicated the body of what he thought was the dominant species. Now wonders about not understanding or anything or anyone and copying things, thinking it's normal. Wonderful. World building is one of the most fun things you can do in RPGs. It's actually the thing that makes me really want to do it. As in run a game rather than just participate in one. Right, I'm going to grab some firewood off my stack here. I'll have to go out my basket and see if I can get some that way. Just chuck it about. Come on. Okay, I'm not sure about this one. In terms of the game, I'm not quite sure I'm enjoying it. But, you know, it'll do. Although I don't know if I think... Can't decide. What do you think? Albin, you've been watching more or less the whole time. Does it need a plate as well? I think it does. Memory serves. See if I can get this one just about in there. Oh, you jugs. Right, beans and maple syrup. Get a plate. The Overcooked classic style. Oh yeah, I need to get the thing actually started to cook. Right, let's see if I can get some more wood. Where have I put the wood? There's some up here. Keep my stove going. This game's quite punishing in many ways. He saw someone playing cards, so after he finished, he walked up to the card guy, gave him 10 gold, and threw his card on the table and walked off. After killing the attacking pumpkins, he went around the festival stomping on all the normal pumpkins. He's a menace. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what you get from sentient AIs, I guess. And also in the in the game. So at the moment, my gaming experiences are I'm playing a fair bit of Balatro. I actually ended up making the mistake of buying it on my phone as well, which is probably a silly idea. Hang on a minute. Didn't they just order another batch of beans? Gotta be joking. They've buggered off. There are the old beans. Chuck these in the bin, save myself some time. Right, talk to Korova about opening the shack. She's vanished. She's gone, child. Right. Have you tried Vampire Survivors? Have I tried Vampire Survivors? Oh yes, I have spent rather many hours on Vampire Survivors. If memory serves, I got all the achievements on the Xbox core base game version before they started adding DLC all over the place. Yes, it's a fantastically well-made game. Very much like Balatro. It's simple, but it's very effective. And obviously it spawned a crap ton of poor imitations. And good ones. You know, there's some good ones in there as well. Right, let's wash my plates up. Bit too addictive. Yeah, I think it was a period of time where I needed a game that was sort of brainless and quite simple, because that was when we were expecting Baby, and Baby was kind of on the way fairly soon. And so I was very sort of frazzled and brain was all over the shop and didn't particularly want to be thinking too hard or too heavily about such things as, you know, storylines. So I literally would just seek out games that did not engage my brain at all. They would just be sort of, they would engage the very core sort of motor functions, and that would be sort of the gist of it. Who's your favourite Vampire Survivor? I used to really like the Werewolf of the Whip. Don't know. Enjoyed it. I mean, it's a good game at the end of it all. Where is she? I like the old dudes. Oh, is that the one who gives off the garlic thing? Just kind of the little radius. I started playing. Played quite a few hours as him as well. The garlic power up's quite powerful, especially in the early levels. Oh, lovely. Some beans. Right, I should probably go and get my basket. Yeah, garlic and that spinning shield, and you can pretty much stand still. Yeah, you're not wrong. Right, let's get in and open up the old shack. Put these beans in the old thing. Should still have enough to run the same menu for a day. Maple baked beans. What have I got? Cocktail sausages in maple syrup. That sounds nice. I shouldn't choose what I'd want to eat, but sod it. Got enough to do that. Call them in. Oh, okay, they're running some fudge. Get the hell out. Run out of firewood. Eventually I'm going to be unable to actually cook any food. Which is not ideal for a restaurant business. So they frown on that. It's pretty core to the restaurant business to be able to function. See if I can put these in the old thing for a bit less. No. Go in the bloody bin then. Jerks. Oh. Oh my days. When did I get so old? Oh, come on. It's cold. It's bloody raw. You bastard. Aha. Okay, perfect. I'm so close. Alright. Now let's get some sausages on the go. And then apple juice. Right, meanwhile, all these greedy weirdos are killing each other. Oh yeah, probably need some plates. There we go. Why is that suddenly gets into life? Oh yeah, need to actually plonk it down. Right. Gonna start storing the wood in there when I chop down trees. Did I store it in there? Oh, what good it'll do. What good are these things? Am I missing something really obvious? Not sure what I'm missing here, but dun dun. No joy. I need some fudge and new customers. Right, so maple syrup. Need to whip some milk. Right, let's get me out a bit of wood. Chopping trees only gives you two. How tragic. Can't wait till I can get a helper. Can I just take it off the heat and leave it there? And then serve it in the morning? Find out, won't we? Right. Make that a early night. right. Do. Okay. It's very much got the Stardew Valley sort of go and do some stuff before you can, before other stuff kind of becomes available realm. I wonder if I can get the stone in there as well, because that'd be handy. Tidy up this island a bit. No. Balls. No sign of anywhere I can put the stone. That's rubbish. If there's one thing I will never quite figure out is the decision as to when you press the right mouse button, when you press the left, because sometimes it seems pretty interchangeable with no apparent reason. Still, cutesy game. Very wholesome. Always nice. Oh yeah. Okay, answer my question. No, you cannot do that, because it will simply go off. That's brilliant. I'm going to run out of maple syrup, I think, if I'm not careful. I've got 5 left. Oh, they can just explore the island for a bit. The bloody fools. Might rearrange the town. The options I got, isn't it? Right, they're going to go for sausage right away. There's a lot of trouble chopping for cocktail sausages, isn't he? Maple syrup. Very jaunty music if you can't hear it. Oh. So let me just pause there so I can put the old stream link in the chat. It has been a little while since I've last done it, so I feel it's only fair that I make sure to put the plug in periodically. So the old cocktail sausages, and I will get an apple juice on the go. Who's smoking in this corner? Outrageous. Shit houses. Right, so they want some fudge, do they? Keep that topped up. Yeah, don't all just go, whee! So this is not set in England. Looks like my Michelin star is about to kick off. There's no... Why did it just make a funny noise? There's no ordering. Why am I cooking more sausages? Why have I started cooking another batch of sausages? I'm pretty confused. Because they were still eating the ones they got. Oh no, hang on, that can't be right. Why is it at a barbecue? If I only eat one burger, people try to get me to eat more. But if I to a restaurant, I'm a fatty. Because it's not the complete burger, is it? It's just the meat. If you just ordered like some sort of horrendous Devonshire cafe, just the burger with no bun, twice, only a bad island. That's what I reckon. But you're talking to the wrong person because I have actually ordered two mains at a restaurant before in my youth. Because mainly because the waitress who my friend thought was a bit sweet on me, but I think I'm not sure about that. Either way, she bet me I couldn't do it, and at the time I had this weird kind of thing about What a waste. Keep wasting my southern ingredients. Jerks. Because now I've got to make more wood in order to chop down more trees. Because I need to make more maple syrup. I'll have that. Yoink. Just need running. Remember that. Let's stick this in the old basket. I can just go and grab some more. Oh, hang on, hang on. Aha. I'm going to rearrange this. So where's my... That can stay there. That's what I want to put closer. That should be fine. Just whip it out like a matador's cape. Now, social norm stifle us, and we're oppressed by the standards that people make up to control us. I put work half of my body. If people put in the hours to work out as revered, I put in that's a cuddly stud muffin. I'm ashamed. I couldn't agree more, mate. You are a cuddly stud muffin. Ah, hang on. I use him. Oh, there you go. Don't know what that does. If anything, who cares? I could almost not open for the day and just do some chores. That sort of defeats the point of the game, doesn't it? Oh, cool. Got a half star. When I eat Belgian buns, I like to say I'm doing bun bell wrap. Clean and jerk. I know what I mean. That's better. Okay, so this is the trick. Is you rebuild your island so that everything's a bit closer. she say? Let me know if you need any more seats. She's bloody shut. So the boat's coming over now. Check my stocks in a minute. Piss all in the way of maple syrup. These wasteful badgers. I'm actually tempted not to open today. Screw the lot of you. Just punt the raspberry across the floor. Right, when we get to 2 hours, I think I'm going to call it a night because I was a little bit late getting started and I'm knackered. Like I say, long old week. She is a wonderful kid, but she is a lot of work, and she also really wanted to just play with Daddy tonight, which suits Mum because Mum needs a rest, but she would have, I think, liked to be more helpful, which is fair enough. But let's go back to beans, I think, on that one. I've got plenty of juice, sugar pie. God, it doesn't really matter. It's all wrong, isn't it? There's only one left. Well, I guess then, stick with the fudge. I wonder if you can just turn off the... Can you just turn off the menu so you just have nothing? Yes! Right, so let's stick with the classics then. Beans, maple syrup, apple juice. Get out of my way, you jerks. I've got to go and get some more maple syrup because of you wastrels. It's so jaunty. Why does my butt look so perturbed? It really does look upset. Let's launch this into the sea. Need to find some efficiencies there. It's really annoying that because of this plank thing here, I can't actually reach the gone off food in the top right corner. Unless I start moving my furniture around, which I'm not sort of particularly keen on doing. Are you still going on that orange juice? Making that last? Got cheapskate clan today. Alright, now we're talking. So, some beans. And some maple syrup. Let's get some, what's it called? Some cooking going. Put a plate underneath. Oh yeah, I've got a jar for raspberries, haven't I? I don't need to punt them across the floor anymore. I'm waiting for the opportune moment to present itself. Come on, a bit faster than that. Put a bit of back into it. Think about it, if these are pound coins, it's an expensive glass of apple juice, isn't it? Apple juice for 6, please. That'll be 25 quid. Soid. Who's she? Alright, okay. Thought you might be the person I'm looking for. Right, you know what? The prices at a theme park. Yeah, it's not a Wetherspoons, is it? Where it's like $1.99 for 11 meals. But you can guess that they came from a supermarket in some cases, because something like a Hunter's chicken is pretty standard runner. That's pretty standard fare, isn't it? Grab the dirties. Wash that up while they're faffing. They want some more beans. Are they going to want them in an hour's time? Get some more wood. I think it's pointless here because they're just about to leave. Tell you what, I'm going to put this here in case somebody comes for dinner. Get this one cooked off. I'll get to the end of this day and then I'll call it a night, I think. Just so I've got... What do if I juice that? You can't juice blueberries. Seems unnecessary. Can't make a bloody coolie either. Rubbish. Yes, that's how days are nice. Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I mean. When I finish the in-game day, I will finish my real life day as well. Oh, that's what I mean. I don't think they're coming back. You just got weird. It's very intense all of a sudden. Right. So, my verdict. I'm not sure how I feel about this game, if I'm honest. It's quite cutesy. I like the core mechanics of it, but it's quite a faffy game. You do spend a fair bit of time running around, moving bits of wood around the map, which, yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, thank you for your time. up against every piece of media that's ever been created. You've chosen to spend some time with me, and I appreciate you greatly for that. The stream is in aid of Mind, the mental health charity. The stream link is in there. If I put it on YouTube, there's stream links. Probably should be in the description. Maybe it's not. But yeah, next plan is Thursday. I will have a think about what kind of unsettling, creepy game I might want to play. I think Pacific Drive might win out because it looks like a lot of fun. And I don't know that I want to do a full-fledged, survival horror stream or something like that because it's just a bit too stressful, isn't it? Um, so I'm thinking a creepy game like a Pacific Drive might be good. So look forward to a game on Thursday, all being well. I will try and confirm on the day because I appreciate obviously people want to plan their day around it a little bit if they can. So I'm going to try and accommodate that as best I can. But thank you for your time, and I hope you've enjoyed finding out more about Sugar Shack, even if that means you've decided not to buy it. But either way, appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed.